again. Welcome back to Myths, Legends, Stories, and Tales with Lady Liadan. Today, we're going to take a trip to a monastery and look at some of the ways they made inks and paints in the Middle Ages. We're going to read the story of the Ink Garden of Brother Theophane by C.M. Millen, illustrated by Andrea Wisnewski. In the mountains of Mourne, up twisted old bends, past blackberry brambles, and ancient wood glens, there stood a tall tower, a circle of stones, where holy men lived, wearing simple brown robes, filling simple brown books, eating simple brown bread, and saying their prayers by their simple brown beds. They all looked alike, they all seemed the same, except the brother they called Theophane. Each morning they went, after saying their prayers, after eating their bread, to the top of the stairs. They walked in a row, first left foot, then right, one step at a time, with footsteps so quiet. But Theophane always was the last in line, and sometimes he took 2 steps at a time. Then each at his desk they bowed their brown heads to quietly copy wise words they had read on simple brown parchment with simple brown quills, dipping simple brown ink from hollowed out wells. But Theophane paused to reach in his robe to take out some crumbs he had saved from his loaf. He secretly placed them upon the deep sill of the window that opened out over the hill. He's putting the breadcrumbs on the sill. The birds that were waiting for their mid-morning meal would clamor so loudly on his wide windowsill that often the brothers would lay down their pens, look up from their parchments, and shake their brown heads. Theophane chuckled with cheer all the while, writing his words and hiding a smile. Theophane worked at his simple brown desk, writing simple brown writing like all of the rest. But Theophane just couldn't help but observe, outside of his window, the flight of a bird, or the green of the trees on a hill far away, or the sun shining brightly on the top of his page. And then he would stop with his copying chore to write about all of the beauty outdoors. How lovely it is today! The sunlight flickers and breaks on the margin of my lined book, while a wall of woodland overlooks a blackbird singing from the willow, a bird, a branch, a mass of yellow. Watching him closely with a critical eye was the eldest of brothers, the teacher of scribes, Theophane, brother. Unfortunately, you don't seem to be doing the work we must do. It seems you must have a new task to fulfill. You will make the brown ink that we use in our wells. Theophane solemnly slid from his chair, laid down his pen, and skipped down the stairs. I render thanks for what is given. My claw is tired from all of this scribbling. Have you ever written so long that your hand hurt? I have. Down in the room at the pit of the tower, where the ink was made over a fire, Theophane boiled the cauldrons of bark, constantly stirring to make the ink dark. Sweating and sleepy, thirsty and tired, Theophane toiled all night at the pyre. By morning, exhausted and needing more bark, he picked up 3 baskets and went for a walk. As he opened the door, a breeze kissed his brow and removed every trace of Theophane's frown. With every step forward, he felt less alone. Each scent and each sound seemed to welcome him home. What a lovely sound, the wind against the elm, making music for me. What a lovely song of the gray blackbird as she claps her wing. It is lovely riding out in the wood. It is humble, hidden house for the good. With spirits now rising, he ran through the trees, tripped on his robes and fell to his knees. Laughing out loud, he rolled on his back, next to the thick of a blackberry patch. Ah, blackberries, sweet! He ate till he sighed, then noticed his hands. "I'm purple!" he cried. Summer brings feasts so merry, nuts and fruits and the finest berries. Purple from berries, an idea filled his mind. What other colors for ink could I find? With baskets in tow, he searched all around, picking berries and leaves and roots from the ground. Scratched and bedraggled, but divinely inspired, Theophane eagerly raced back to the fire. Fruits of the forest break forth in plenty, slender green hazel and yew tree berries. He sliced and he slivered, he grated and chopped, preparing the plants to be boiled in the pots. Weld blooms bring orange, cabbage leaves green. The more matter I get, the redder it seems. The buckthorn turns golden, while woad leaves turn blue, and bilberries spill very bright violet hues. And from the wee crocus such a strong yellow shade, Theophane smiled at the rainbow he made. Lovely the cloak of colors my Lord has thrown upon the hill, and great is the one who dyed them and brings them to us still. He bound up soft brushes, no 2 sized the same, of hair that he clipped from their old donkey's mane. Then at the long table where he sat down to write, Theophane dabbled all through the night. And when all the others awoke from their beds and came to the kitchen to eat their brown bread, they couldn't believe what was left by their places. Theophane's writing illuminated. My thin-beaked pen does emit bright blue ink from its tip, or pours out steady with the green from holly leaves and cabbage skin. Through a set of great bright books I will send your dripping pens. Streams of wisdom will fairly flow without the rest from our skilled men. In the mountains of morn, up twisted old bends, past blackberry brambles and ancient wood glens, there stood a tower, a circle of stone, where lived holy men in simple brown robes, who no longer wrote their simple brown words on simple brown pages in a simple brown world. Heavenly hues now covered their pages and filled their bright books with colorful phrases. And Theophane happily tended his field, harvesting plants for the colors they yield. But the best yields of all for Theophane's part were the peace in his mind and the joy in his heart. No great house is finer than my home within the wood. I give thanks for all that God has given for our good. The end. What did you think about that story? Can you illuminate some of your writing? What colors would you choose? That's all the time we have for today. We'll see you next time.